Oh my God. Well, right now we want to get some questions for the audience. I'm sure there are plenty. Can we have our first question, please?
Hey guys, my name's Sam. I just want to know what made you choose Death Note as a source material as opposed to some of the more other popular manga or anime?
Well, I think that it's basically just because of the opportunities that you know, the source material has in it. You know, like for me, you know, in terms of my approach to it, it was that it allowed me to do something that wasn't just pinned down by one genre. You know, like this film kind of encapsulates all genres in a lot of ways. It's, you know, it's mostly a thriller, but it's got dramatic, romantic elements, it's got horror stuff, and there's even a musical moment to a certain degree in the film. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's kind of this ultimate genre mashup. And, you know, for me as a director, you know, like, I think that's kind of where my background has kind of been, and I think my most successful things have kind of treaded the line of being able to play with genre tropes and that kind of thing. And so, for me as a director, at least, that's where my interest kind of came from, you know.
Next question.
How scary is Death Note?
Sorry. Nat, do you want to take that? How scary?
Ooh, pretty scary. I had to look away. Guys go for it.
No, actually, you know, it's like, I think a lot of people, because of my attachment to it, you know, coming from a horror background, or, you know, kind of thinking that, you know, we turned this thing into a horror film. And, you know, like you can see in that scene right there with Ryuk, we really took, especially the Ryuk sequences, and gave them kind of a horror tinge to it. He's always kind of in the shadows and that kind of thing. I wouldn't say that the movie is like full-on scary, because really it's more about the sort of cat and mouse kind of thing between Light and L more than anything. But yeah.
Next question.
Hey, what up, Terry?
What's up?
Okay, thank you. My question is, guys, since this movie is kind of like a horror type character, who is your supervillain, or who is like somebody that scares you?
The President of the United States.
That
ultimate villain.
was good.
Anybody?
He can't tell.
Yeah, I think we're dead. Next question.
I also really like the Joker. Not necessarily the latest rendition, the one from Heath Ledger's.
Broke back. Go ahead, please. Next question.
Hi guys, I was wondering why you decided to take on this venture when other live dub adaptations from other animes haven't necessarily turned out so well.
Well, I think that's exactly why you want to take on something like this, is because, you know, there hasn't been a lot of good ones. You know, specifically Death Note is something that's already been adapted before, and so, you know, for us that felt like it was a good opportunity to be able to take something that's already been kind of faithfully done, you know, in the past, and kind of do our own spin on it, and that kind of thing. I mean, you know, growing up, I mean, if you'd asked me what my favorite film was, like, you know, when I was in high school, almost through film school, I would have said like Ninja Scroll, you know, and things like that. And, you know, and there's some of them obviously that, you know, would make really good adaptations. I think Macross Plus, to me, is a really story that like opens itself up to a great kind of, you know, thematic telling, you know, that's never been done. I think just because there hasn't been really a satisfying, you know, live action anime adaptation, at least in America, you know, is kind of, I mean, like I said, I think that's a good reason why you should, you know, try to do one.
And also, sorry.
No, it's all yours.
Okay, well, and also as a process, we had the creator, the sensei, Obata sensei, Ohba sensei involved from the beginning. And that's a huge thing, you know. We want to make sure we want to create a movie, you know, that the senseis would be proud of it. And in turn, hopefully the fans will be happy with it as well. So I think that's a very different thing. And you know, we had an amazing collaboration with the senseis and Adam. And when they, you know, when we showed it to them in the screen in Japan, when they said they loved the film, it just like really brought tears to my eyes, because I knew if they loved it, the fans will love it too. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I think also the themes in Death Note make it really adaptable. You know, I think in all the different versions in the manga, in the series, and in the films that were made in Japan, I think and now in our film, I think the themes ring true, and I think so in that way, I think it's a special one. You know.
Yeah, and I've been involved with other remakes of Asian movies, where like The Ring and The Departed and The Grudge, and this one also had a story that I felt could translate to an international audience.
I want to say that too. The story is so strong. I mean, if you had the power to decide who lives or dies, that is probably one of the most compelling questions ever. I got to give it up to you guys. Next question.
Hey everybody, my name is Terrence. What's going on? Terry loves yogurt. My question is actually for Lakeith. Elle is such a complex, mysterious, quirky character. How did you fall into that role, and how did you prepare yourself mentally to portray that on camera accurately?
1 second. I think if we examine ourselves somewhat closely, we find we're all weird. In the best way. That's what attracted me to Elle. And so I just let myself be weird.
Yeah. Next question. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, they said we gotta wrap it up right now. Guys, I know! It's too short! But let me tell you something, this movie, you are going to love it. I saw it, I could not believe it. I'm a big fan of horror, and a fan of this genre, and a fan of thrillers, and you are going to be absolutely thrilled. Give it up for the cast and filmmakers of Death Note! Now, I gotta let everybody know, there will be a screening of Death Note